Well, hey, how are you today? It's time for Ask the Tech Guys. I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up, how do you get that first job in IT?
And I'm Micah Sargent, and we answer a great question. Can you back up an iPhone without Apple's help?
And if it's time to buy Wi-Fi for your parents, what's the best system if you don't want to support it for the rest of your life? All that coming up next on Ask the Tech Guys.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is Ask the Tech Guys with Mikah Sargent and Leo Laporte, episode 2031 for Sunday, June 30th, 2024. 3 weddings and a baby. Well, hey! Look at this guy.
Look at this
guy. It's Mikah Sargent.
Hey, Leo
in the
Laporte.
house. Hey, how you doing? This is the show where we answer computer questions. You're not going to ask us any now. You're going to say,
Why them?
Weirdos.
Who?
We are the Tech Guys. I know because it says so on the screen. I'm Leo Laporte. Now, for the last 20 years, I've been doing this on the radio. But we decided at the end of 22, I decided to stop. People say we, like the royal we.
Right.
Just me. I'm not Rush Limbaugh with a whole cast of characters. Just me. Not the guy with the curly hair. I'm not. It's not me. It's not me. I'm just me. I'm just the guy. And I said, I'm tired of doing this. So I ended the show. But then we said, let's make it a podcast. Mm-hmm. And because I am old and tired, I'm going to bring in a young guy who knows something. And that's this guy right here. Hello. So now we answer your questions at 888-724-2884. That's, by the way, all the time. Mm-hmm. We're here Sundays, when Leo gets here on time, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, 2 to 5 Eastern, 1800 UTC. That means if you're calling at that time, we can answer. Yep. But otherwise, you can leave us a voicemail. We have a few voicemails we get to today. But it's all questions, all answers today. We also have emails at atg@twit.tv. 4,000 arrested.
I was so pleased to see this.
4,000?
I want more, but I was happy to see that 4,000 people around the world have been arrested for their participation in online scams.
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
I can't think of any case where that many people have been arrested all at once. This is an international operation, obviously dubbed Operation First Light. 61 countries. They targeted phishing. These are the folks who call your grandma and take her money. Investment fraud, fake online shopping sites, romance scams. They call it hog butchering.
That's right, hog butchering.
Where they pretend that they're a nice person in love with you. Instead, they just want your money. Impersonation scams. Interpol arrested thousands of potential cyber criminals. Police also identified 14,600 other possible
We're coming
suspects.
for you.
This is why this is so widespread. There's a lot. This is a big business. That's more employees than Apple. During the searches, no, it isn't. But law enforcement seized suspects' real estate, high-end vehicles, expensive jewelry, and many other high-value items and collections. They froze 6,745 bank accounts used for transferring money obtained through illegal operations. In one case, police intercepted a $331,000 gleaned from a business email compromise fraud involving a Spanish victim who thought he was, sending real money, but sent it to some scammer bank accounts in Malaysia and Hong Kong. Now, here's the sad thing. Mm-hmm. They arrested a lot of people, but it's not going to stop it. It's just going to come right back. Here's another sad thing. We've mentioned this with hog butchering. A lot of the people who do it, you shouldn't yell at them because they're, in effect, slaves. Police rescued 88 local youths who were forced into conducting scams as part of a sophisticated international crime network in Namibia. Law enforcement of Singapore, Hong Kong, China prevented an attempted tech support scam. You've heard that one. You've seen that one. Saving a 70-year-old victim from losing $281,000 worth of savings. Whew. Well, I'm glad they did it.
I really am pleased about this. I was just talking about how I wanted to see these fraudsters online have some sort of justice, brought to their doorsteps. And to see that you talk about this story, I thought, oh, it's happening. It needs to keep happening. And
well, that's the problem.
stop.
I figure it's going to keep on going.
Yeah.
I hope this is not a scam story, by the way. I don't know this site very well.
Oh, dear.
The Record, recorded future news. That makes me nervous. But I believe it's real. I saw it on
Interpol.
Tech Meme.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It does link to an Interpol article.
Okay, there you go. A statement by Interpol. And this statement is at interpol.int. So that's real.
Oh, shoot. Is that real? Let's see. What is Interpol?
This is the other thing that really is bugging me, which is the rise of junk. The 404 Media, which I really love 404 Media. This is
oh, yes.
404 was created by, I don't know, four people who were kind of abandoned mainstream media to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm. A few of them came from Motherboard.
Yeah,
the Vice
it was basically the
publication.
Motherboard Vice team. We've had Jason Keebler from them on. Their editor-in-chief said, let's try to make a fake 404 Media. And it cost him $300 some bucks. That's all. I paid $365.63 to replace 404 Media with AI. This is Emmanuel Myberg, who's the editor-in-chief there. He didn't publish it because he said it's too close to the real thing. But he got a freelancer on Fiverr to use AI, ChatGPT, to generate articles stolen from other sites.
Wow. So he didn't even do much work at all.
No.
He just paid somebody else to do it.
He did not, and it didn't pay him. It's amazing. On Monday, June 17th, Emmanuel says, I published 53 articles on everything from top internet service providers in South Dakota. Well, see, that's for search, right?
Yes.
That's
all
good
search
SEO.
articles, yep.
AI-generated images in Google search results have provided access to an alternate reality. I saw that story, by the way. Almost clicked on it. This is why I'm nervous. Every time I look at a story now, I have to say,
Yep. Is it real?
Has that been generated? He published that story on 404 Media, and then it was ripped off and put on his site, which he named, fortunately, a terrible name, Prototype Press. But boy, this cost him nothing to do. And apparently the guy who does it, and there are many on Fiverr who do this, say, oh yeah, I've done hundreds. We are being flooded with fake sites. Now, most of these sites maybe get discovered and taken down, but not before they make hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars or more in Google ads. And that's the whole reason you would do that, right? To generate traffic.
Yep.
So you can make money in ads. What a world. So I'm just saying, in a way, this is, I hate this. This is self-serving, but it's good for us. Because you look at us, we're not fake.
We're here. We're real.
If we were fake, we'd be much better looking. Well, I would anyway. We're genuine. We're authentic, right? And so I think it becomes really important, and this is why I mentioned this for all of us, to pay attention to the sources for our news and get your news from trusted sources, people like Mikah and me, who will make sure that, we don't give you phony stuff.
Right. We are checking. We're skeptical about these things and making sure it is what it is.
And I had vetted it. But at the same time,
it still makes you nervous.
it made me, I went, wait a minute now. The picture in this article came from Interpol, so we know.
Yeah, it is, and that is the Interpol
It's
website,
the official website.
Interpol.int.
Yeah, it is because it's so crappy. Again, real stuff doesn't look as good as the generated stuff.
It's so gleamy, flashy.
But there's the picture. That is just a mind-boggling story. Authorities in Hong Kong, multiple suspects there. This is in Brazil. These are assets that belong to suspected scammers. Look at the watches.
Wow. And these are huge crime rings, too.
Yeah.
So
basically,
they're working with,
it's organized crime.
It is organized crime.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
Yeah. And it's unbelievable. Data contained in handheld devices, computers, and telephones were handed over to Interpol for analysis. And maybe you have seen, I don't know, the pictures. There's the team from China's Ministry of Public Security. You've seen probably in China and other places the walls of smartphones controlled by one or two computers that they're using to generate these scams. It's just mind-boggling. What a world. What a world we live in. So I wanted to mention that and say, watch us. Keep your trusted sources ready for you. Here's another great, encouraging story. Microsoft, as you know, Microsoft has had some security issues lately.
I mean, basically any time they're always having security issues.
Always. They had a big one with their servers, their Exchange servers. Microsoft told more than a dozen state agencies and public universities in Texas this week that Russian state-sponsored hackers had accessed email between them and the software giant. You know, that's the tip of the iceberg because it's in those emails, all sorts of stuff. The agencies that Microsoft warned of exposure in the attack include the Texas Department of Transportation, the Texas Workforce Commission, the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, the Land Office, and the State Securities Board. Midnight Blizzard, Russian intelligence services, hacking them. The state and Microsoft are examining the effect of the breach. That means this is the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot more to follow on this one. Remember when Microsoft said, somebody got into our email servers, but they were only 0.1% of Microsoft's employees were exposed. Turned out
It was the higher ups.
it was all the executives, the people who ran the company. It was just by chance. Those are the ones that they got into. You know, obviously
Via an old machine.
Yeah, that was just sitting in the corner somewhere. Unbelievable. We should get Rod Pyle back on because I'm worried about the astronauts. They're sitting up there. NASA says, no, they can come home anytime. We just want to analyze the Boeing rocket that will bring them home more carefully before we put them on it.
They're like, we just want to come home.
Please let it. No, they say, it's good PR. Oh, we're happy. Hey, we get more time in space. What could my eyeballs are swelling,
right.
But what could possibly go wrong?
My bones are losing density, but
NASA and SpaceX misjudged the risk from re-entering space junk. This is an Ars Technica story subtitled, Safety Tends Not to Be on the Front Burner Until It Really Needs to Be on the Front Burner.
That is a quote. That's terrifying.
Since the beginning of the year, landowners have discovered several pieces of space junk traced to missions supporting the International Space Station. They've hired SpaceX to take down the ISS.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's some concern that, maybe they're not as good at this as we thought. The biggest immediate need, says Marlon Sorge, Executive Director of Aerospace's Center for Orbital and Reentry Debris Studies, is just to do some more work to really understand this whole process. Yeah. So you understand that you can't stay in orbit forever. Eventually your orbit decays and you crash to Earth. So the idea is to do a planned re-entry, a deorbiting, over the ocean. They actually, I didn't know this, but there's a part of the Pacific that's considered the space graveyard. They try to aim at this part of the ocean. Apparently they're missing a lot. In March, a fragment from a battery pack jettisoned from the space station punched a hole in the roof of a Florida home.
That is horrifying.
In May, well, it's not all. A 90-pound chunk of a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft fell on the property of a glamping resort in North Carolina. A homeowner in a nearby town found a smaller piece of material that seemed to be from the same.
Can you imagine you let your dog out to use the restroom and you come out and it's been crushed by SpaceX?
It's the stuff of motion pictures.
Oh, cue the dog. Sorry, Lily. I wasn't talking about you. Not you.
No.
You're fine.
Pieces of a Dragon spacecraft fell over Colorado last year, and a farmer in Australia found debris from a Dragon capsule on his land in 2022. So, just there. Look at this. I mean, when I say a piece,
that is a piece. It is bigger than the man.
Yeah. That's a piece of something.
That could kill 3 people.
It's a trunk, it says. And that's a chunk of trunk sticking out of the ground.
I wonder what happens. Does SpaceX come and grab it?
Probably they're hoping to grab it before the landowners find it. There's the stuff that fell in the field.
This is mine now.
The good news is the Earth is pretty big, and the oceans are huge, and most of the time, stuff doesn't hit anybody.
Most of the time.
But I just came up with 5 examples.
Yeah, that's too many because we haven't been to space that many times. Like that's statistically significant, in my opinion.
During its initial design, the Dragon spacecraft trunk, that thing, was reevaluated for re-entry breakup and was predicted, we thought, it would burn up fully. The information from the debris recovery provides an opportunity for teams to improve debris modeling.
They said, look, we'll get better at this.
Sorry. We thought it would burn up.
Mea culpa.
According to the European Space Agency, the annual risk of a human, any given human, is less than 1 in 100 billion being hit by space debris. But see, that's a little deceiving. You only have 1 in 100 billion chances of getting hit by space debris.
Right, but someone who's...
But anybody, if it's like all humans, what's the chance of some human in the entire set of humans?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I hate statistics, because literally it could still happen.
Yeah.
And so
if you're the one getting hit, it doesn't reassure you.
Yes, I don't care.
Wow. I should have bought a lottery ticket.
Right.
I didn't know I was that lucky.
It doesn't change anything in my opinion. But also, I would imagine that it goes up if you live in places like Florida or other places where it's, you know what I mean? So it can't be 1 in 100 billion for them. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Anyway,
I'm not against space.
Do some more research, okay?
Yeah.
And let's have
modeling.
it burn up faster. So, as you know, there is an election coming up in November. Did you know that? I hope you young people vote. In August, you better vote because it's your civic duty. Mm-hmm. In August, the White House is going to host a conference for social media creators. Did you get your invitation?
Sadly, no, I didn't.
No.
I better reach out.
They've done this before. Influential. Oh, there's the problem. Social media personalities and industry professionals will be invited to the White House, their first ever White House Creator Economy Conference.
Wait,
I'm glad you're going to ask PewDiePie about privacy, fair pay, AI, and mental health.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Make sure you get those influencers in. Who's the guy?
Oh, the guy.
The guy.
YouTube guy.
With the mirror shades.
He was on Twitch, but not on Twitch anymore.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, him. I know John Ashley knows. He doesn't want to say it.
They announced this at VidCon on Friday. The inaugural White House Creator Economy Conference will emphasize the administration's commitment to creators and reinforce the economic and cultural value they represent. You want me to translate that?
I would love
young people vote.
Yes. Also, I would like to say that my co-host on Tech News Weekly, Amanda Silberling,
she's a young person.
She is a young person. She also moderated a panel at VidCon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
VidCon's fun. I've been. It's cool. It's of course, if you're running for any office, you probably should talk to the youths through the medium they watch.
Yeah, through what they
don't watch TV. Do you even watch TV?
You
watch TV. I know because you watch Below Deck, so I know. But you're not that young anymore.
Correct.
Did you watch TV when you were younger? I know, this is a dumb question.
Yeah, that's why I still watch TV because I
remember when Henry, who is now a media, I wonder if he'll get invited. TikTok influencer chef. But I remember when he was, a teenager, he didn't watch TV. He watched YouTube.
Oh.
All the time. And that was a long time ago. That was 15 years ago. Anyway, that is the news across the nation. Thank you, everybody. Oh, one more thing. I like this, and this is an Apple story. And it might be a little speculative, although it comes from the information, which is a good source. So Apple has been told by the EU, you got to make your batteries replaceable. Not just Apple, but all phone makers have to ensure smartphone batteries can be replaced by their owners with easily accessible tools by next year. This is the EU. They're tough. So Apple, which right now, if you try to change the battery in your phone, you can't. You go to iFixit.
Right.
And you do things like you put heat on it.
Yes. They have these little adhesive tabs that are difficult. They're a pain. And if they rip, then you can't. Yeah. It's bad.
So Apple, this is really cool. I hope this works. It's exploring a new technology that will, this is according to 5 people in the iPhone manufacturing process. It will allow you, and this will start with at least one model of the iPhone 16 this year and possibly all iPhones by next year. It will allow you to use electricity to dislodge the battery.
Ooh. Does it heat the substance?
No, it's called electrically induced adhesive debonding, or EIAD.
EIEIO.
EIEIO. They really missed a bet. They could have done that. Electrically induced adhesive debonding. You put the battery in metal, and then you administer a small jolt of electricity to the battery, and it goes, "Oh, I'm free." And that's it. Then
okay, so I got it. Where instead of it being sticky, it's kind of like
it's a glue that releases with electricity.
Yeah, just
maybe it's static.
Must be something like that.
Anyway, that's cool. Kyle Wiens, our friend from iFixit, says, I love to see Apple innovate towards improved repairability. Glue is the bane of modern device repair, and any strategies that help reverse adhesives are welcome. It's a promising approach, says Kyle. So
12 volts for 60 seconds.
Bzz.
So I could just lick a 9-volt battery and touch the battery.
If you applied 12 volts to me for 60 seconds, I'd release my contents as well. I think we all work that way, don't we?
That was good. I liked that one. I'm not normally a potty humor kind of guy, but that was
it is potty humor.
But that was a good one.
If you really think about it.
Oh,
but
sorry.
It
was veiled potty humor.
It was veiled, and that's
bad.
why you liked it. It didn't. It's kind of veiled. Anyway, let's
take a break.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we will take your calls at 888-724-2884. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys with Potty Mouth Leo and Nice Guy Micah. All right, who should we? And speaking of nice guys, John Ashley, our producer. I see some people with their hands raised in the Zoom window.
All right, we're going to try to pick up on this caller right here.
This caller right here. State your name.
Hello,
and
this
city.
caller right here.
This caller right here.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello.
welcome.
Oh, first of all, I'd like to say I am a Club TWiT member, so I am supporting you guys.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. In that case, we'll give you a good answer.
Okay. That'll make a difference. Now, I've been to one of your sponsors' webpage, ACI Learning.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of taking a course in Azure. I'm
Nice.
thinking about taking the 104 certification course.
Yeah.
Now, I have looked for jobs on Indeed, and there's one in particular that I remember where they wanted 5 years of experience. Now, let's say I take the course, I get the certification, and I go out there, and start looking for a job. How am I going to compete when these postings, they want, years? Or
You're not going to get
5
that
years.
job. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And I remember when I started in radio, it said you need 3 to 5 years experience. I said, well, how are you supposed to get that if you can't get a job? So I actually got the worst possible job and worked my way up. And now I have almost 50 years in experience, and I still don't know how to get a job. So it's kind of the whole point of places like ACI Learning. And I think, by the way, it's you may remember it as IT Pro TV. And their whole idea is, and you'll see a lot of schools that do this. If you're going to get an entry-level position, it is a kind of a catch-22. How do I prove that I have the skills? And that's why there are these certifications. The A+ certification, for instance, which shows you could do IT support, or a Network Plus. These are all from CompTIA, which is one of the big cert companies. Microsoft has its own certifications. You said Azure, so there is an Azure certification. So that's like the ground level. You've got to get that. But by studying for that test and getting the cert, now you have something you can put on your resume. It's still going to be an entry-level job, but every IT department has apprentices, right? People, remember the old days where you had a journeyman carpenter and he'd take on apprentices. It's funny, we had an electrician the other day.
I was going to say, electricians still do that.
And he was with a young guy, and that was his apprentice.
Yep.
And that's how you learn, so with IT, it's a little different. You really, the certs are the apprenticeship program, and then you're going to get an entry-level position somewhere. You're not going to get that 5-year position.
Yeah, and I want to say, too, it is, as Leo's kind of talking about, that 5-year is definitely signaling that's that is something
not
where you
entry
do need to
level.
have experience.
Yeah.
But if they say 2 years, 3 years experience, I'm going to tell you,
Still apply.
you should still apply.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of things that go into it. One, you can talk about, your learning experience, what you've done in terms of personal experience, but also somebody comes along and they've got 5 years experience. They're applying for the 2 to 3 year experience job. They might want a whole lot more money than what you're willing to take as someone who's newer to it. That person might need someone quick, so they choose to hire you over that other person, especially if you show that you're a go-getter, a person who's a self-starter, blah, 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 blah. So I think that those requirements are often negotiable up to a certain extent. That 5 years signals that this is definitely one that has a lot of experience that is genuinely required, but something in the 2 to 3 range you might still apply for.
The other thing I would say is that a good school will have a placement division, a placement department. IT Pro TV does, or ACI Learning. They have people who help you find jobs. And the good thing about that, if it's a legitimate, by the way, and I'll talk in a second about a not so legitimate example of this, but if it's legitimate, and I say ACI Learning is very much so, they have companies come to them and say, hey, we have needs and we have entry-level positions and you can help us fill those. Those may never even get posted. They may go directly to the schools and say, hey, we just need somebody who's got the Azure certificate. So what I would do is call ACI and ask them about placement support. And I would ask that of every school. Now, unfortunately, there are places who scam you. You remember that Trump University got sued because they didn't do anything, right? There's a very well-known, remember there was a big fad for coding camps, right? There was a very well-known school called Lambda School, which then, after it got in a lot of trouble, renamed itself Bloom Tech, but they are getting sued by lots of students who say that they lied about their placement rates and the earnings for graduates of the program. And the reason this was a problem with this company is they had a novel, they were, one of these startups with, venture funding. They had a novel approach. They said, you don't pay us up front. You give us a percentage of your earnings.
Ugh.
But the problem was you'd say, oh, well, great. I'll get a coding job. I'm going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars and I'll have great earnings. They would take it even if you got a job delivering for food taxi, right? For DoorDash. They would take a percentage of your earnings for any job.
That's horrible.
So this was really
That's
kind
like
of
a Rumpelstiltskin sort of
It was not
deal.
good. It's been in trouble before. It was operating without approval from the state and so forth. The National Student Legal Defense Network has brought a class action lawsuit. So this just really underscores it's important to go to a school that's legit. And I would definitely talk to them about their placement. Bring this issue up to them. They have people who do this and say, it's not super expensive. It's less expensive because it's online than it would be if you went to a classroom, if you went to like a technical college, which can be very expensive. But it's not an
That's why I'm
insignificant.
looking at ACI. It's
Yeah.
so much more affordable
It's
and
just
fits into my work schedule,
Exactly. And it works. Yeah. No, I love their model. In fact, the guys who founded IT Pro, they were classroom trainers. And they actually said, we were inspired, Leo, by what you did with TWiT. We thought we could do that for IT learning. And of course they did very, very well. They ended up selling to to ACI Learning. Which is even bigger enterprise. But, look at reviews before you go to any school. Look at reviews, former students, what their placement policies are, how they're going to help you. And yeah, you really want to make sure that those thousands of dollars you're going to spend getting the skills are going to end up being a job. But so our advice is, take it with a grain of salt. Talk to the people at the school and people who've gone through the school. Now, I can tell you we have a lot of viewers. In fact, I bet you somebody will call. But we have a lot of viewers who went to IT Pro or ACI Learning and who got jobs. I've talked to people, many, many people. So it is absolutely possible to. A lot of people in our audience changed careers by doing that, which is, I suspect, what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a much better career. If you're a coal miner, now would be a good time to learn Azure. Is what I'm thinking. What do you do now?
Okay. That sounds like great advice. I mean, I'm going to follow up on that. I didn't know ACI Learning had a replacement program.
Yeah, you would.
So that's a big plus.
And don't just go to our sponsor. You call some others, get in a sense of how they're going to help you, and then say, hey, can you give me the name of a reference, somebody who's used your system and can help and tell me how it worked. And a good company will give you references. So, yeah. What are you doing now?
Right now, I work for a plumbing company. I work outside. It's very tiresome.
It's a great skill and great pay, but it's hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Azure's not so hard work.
Yes.
You can sit at a desk.
One final thing, and then I'll leave. Sure. I sent you an email and asking this question about 4 weeks ago. So if you see it, just trash it. I
apologize for, we get a fairly heavy volume of email. We only answer a small percentage of them. Hey, I'm glad you called, though. It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Good luck. Stay in touch.
Yes, thanks for being there.
Sure. Our pleasure. All right. That's a good question.
That was a great question.
Legit question. I see more hands raised in the classroom. Oh, Mr. Kata. Who should we talk to, John Ashley?
I just picked up on, I'm guessing Michael, but we're going to find out when the phone caller actually hits *6 to unmute themselves.
*6 to unmute, and then tell us your first name and the city you're calling from. We need a better way of identifying them, Line 6. Go ahead. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, this is Shell. I'm calling from Sacramento.
Hi, Shell. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have probably answered this before, but
I love questions.
I have a situation where
I love repeat
I'm
questions.
I'm trying to do like a personal cloud setup using NAS, and I'm just curious as to is this something that you could actually say back up an iOS device to, not just with media, but just do a full backup?
Yeah.
Because
so let me. Yeah, I'll kind of explain. Okay. So when it comes to doing a full backup versus the backups that you're used to where they go to iCloud, yes, you can do that with network attached storage devices. It's a little bit more involved. And it does require a third-party tool in order to change the location of the device backup to something like a network-attached storage. There's a program that I recommend and have recommended for some time called iMazing. That's like the word amazing, but with an I instead of the A at the front. And what iMazing does is specifically this. It lets you sync and back up your devices to any location that you choose. And once you make the initial pairing between iMazing and the device, from that point on, it can do it over your local area network. So you don't have to plug in after that. It will continue to back up your device to that network attached storage that you have over Wi-Fi. It is
So in other words, you have to use a tool to back up your iPhone as if you're backing up to a hard drive.
Yes, but
instead of using Apple's automated iCloud system. And I wish Apple would have a way to do that.
And you can plug in your iPhone to your computer, to your Mac. You can open up Finder and you can do a full backup, but it saves it to a location on the hard drive in macOS, and it doesn't let you change that location.
Right.
So in order to change the location to network attached storage, you have to do it that way. Now, that said, if what you're after is essentially just a place to back up, say, your photos or your music library or something like that, oftentimes these network attached storage devices will have apps or services that will do that.
Synology has a Photos app, for instance, that will automatically back up your iPhone. In fact, I do that. I have my iPhone. Whenever I take a picture of my iPhone, it automatically goes to my Synology at some point. But you sounds like, Shell, you want to back up the whole phone.
Yeah, exactly. And also the iPad as well.
Yeah.
So
you need a tool.
I actually use iCloud myself. But.
Yeah. And, Apple makes it super easy. I mean, Google does the same thing on Android where you just, push a button and it's going to automatically back up. But I can understand why you might want to have your own local backup. And I think the only thing you have to understand is you have to use a piece of software to suck the data off the phone.
Yeah.
Make a backup blob, which will then be backed up to your NAS.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate.
So does the iMazing, does that is that on the computer? You actually have that on the computer and you back up to the computer, or how does that go?
So
okay.
Yeah, you get it, you download it to your either Windows machine, because it's available on both Mac and PC. You download it to your Windows machine or you download it to your Mac. And then at initial setup, you're going to take however many iPhones, however many iPads, whatever devices you have, and one at a time you'll plug them in, and then it'll ask you where you want to do the backup. If you're trying to do a full backup, if you're trying to do a partial backup, et cetera, you'll choose a place on your network attached storage. And then
John, show my screen. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you'll choose your network attached storage location, wherever you want it there. And then from that point on, there's a toggle that says, I want you to just use Wi-Fi from now on to do backups. And so every time iMazing on that machine detects that the iPhone is there and connected to the Wi-Fi network, it can automatically keep that backup going and rolling and make sure that it's staying backed up.
They have a new version that came out that just does
wow, that is
a whole lot more.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but I think it's worth. Micah told me about iMazing about 3 or 4 years ago, and I bought it and I never looked back. So it really is a great piece of software for anybody who has an iPhone, because you can. People often say, I want to save my text messages, and you can save it, but it's because you're syncing with messages in the cloud. It's not the same thing. You want to have them so you could like print them or look at them. And iMazing will do that.
Yeah, and I also like that if individual apps that you have strange like file storage systems and you're having trouble getting files from them, you can get into your backup and pull. I mean, it does a lot. They have one-time purchase options and subscription options. So if you just have 3 devices, it's a one-time purchase of $60, and that lets you connect and sync. Actually. Yeah, 3 devices entirely.
It feels like a lot, but boy, it's nice to have that.
Over the years, that
it's cheaper than it's a couple of years of iCloud, right? Or even 1 year of iCloud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they do a nice job.
Absolutely.
I think that this is the company. There are other companies that do something similar, but this is really the product. iMazing is at imazing.com, and Micah convinced me to buy this some time ago, and I'm glad I did. Okay, Shell, what kind of NAS are you going to use?
I am on it. Well, I've looked at Synology. I've been looking at Synology, so I'm probably gonna.
That's our favorite.
I've already got it set up to get it from Amazon, so I'll probably.
$60 for iMazing is nothing compared to you have to get the box and then you have to stuff it with hard drives. It ends up being
hard drives.
It's expensive. I have a Synology at home and then I have a Synology here, and they back up to one another. What I did is I retired my old Synology when I got a new one, and then I brought the retired one here. And Synology has something called Hyper Backup that'll back up over the internet. So I have a local copy of everything, and then I have an offsite copy at work of everything. So that's a very handy way to really belt and suspenders backup. Nice to talk to you. I'm glad you listened.
Well, I'm a club member, so
thank you.
And Micah, thanks for the instructions on how to use the club, because I struggled a little bit.
He did a video.
I've been referring to those instructions.
Oh, I'm glad to
watch
hear that.
the video. Yeah,
I've got 3 different videos. So if you're on Windows, I've got a video for you. If you're on Android, there's a video for you. If you're on iOS, there's a video for you. Yeah, it is. It's a little complicated. So I'm glad that it helped. I always love hearing that.
But we really appreciate the support. It makes a big difference. So thank you, Shell. I appreciate it. Am I saying your name right? You said Shell?
Yeah,
Good.
It's Shell. Yeah. I've actually been to both your studios, Brick House, all that. I've even got pictures. So, hey, there you go.
Nice.
Pictures or it didn't happen. No, I'm so glad. It's nice to see you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Take care. I should mention that we probably are shutting the studio down for good in a couple of months. When we started TWiT in 2005, I came, as you might know, from a background in radio and television. And so I thought, well, I'm going to make my own little TV studio. Tech TV had just shut down a year before, And I was sad about that. And I thought, there's a real audience for tech TV. They don't understand that audience. So what if I tried to kind of duplicate a 24-hour, I wanted to be the CNN of tech is how I positioned it in my mind, a 24-hour kind of television station for geeks, which was what Tech TV was supposed to be. But I couldn't, obviously, Tech TV, they spent, it was Paul Allen's money, one of the founders of Microsoft, but he lost $300 million on Tech TV over 6 years.
Holy moly.
I know. So I couldn't really afford that. So, but we found a way to do it literally for, I think, a tenth, maybe even 100th of the cost. Using TriCasters and consumer grade cam. That's what we're on right now is a Canon Vixia camera. I mean, for 2005, this was really state of the art. You may remember we had a wonderful engineer, Colleen Henry, who she's now a big shot, by the way, at Facebook doing their streaming. But she designed this whole setup. We called it Skypeosaurus, and we had Streamosaurus. And it was really a cool thing. So over the years, over the past 19 years, it's kind of grown into, you should see our network room. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But it's also an expensive thing. And as time has gone by, it's gotten less expensive, easier, simpler to do this stuff. And most importantly, it costs a lot less. I don't know how much we've spent over the years. It is probably $50 million over the last 20 years. On this studio, on the previous studio, and so forth. I felt like we had to do that because we had to show that podcasting wasn't just some guy in his jammies in his mom's basement. And it helped us. Advertisers trusted us and believed in us. And so we've never lost money. I should reassure you that we have spent a lot of money, but I've made a nice living and survived, and we've been able to pay a team a good wage out of that. And so it was economically viable. But those times, those fat times have kind of gone. Advertising's moving elsewhere to YouTube influencers, things like that. Advertisers are much more skittish about podcast advertising than they used to be. So we're really looking at ways to, in fact, I tasked the team with this a couple of years ago. I said, if we were going to start TWiT today, how would you do it? And we wouldn't build a studio. We wouldn't have a giant rusty gear on the wall. we wouldn't have, you should see this. I mean, it looks like it is a television studio this is what a TV studio looks like. But nowadays people do it from their house. They use software like Ecamm to stream, Zoom to stream. And so we're going to move to that. We'll save a lot of money by moving out of the studio, you'll be working from your house. I'll be working from my house. Our technical directors, our editors will be working from their houses. It'll be all work from home with no central locus. We'll have parties, I promise, but there'll be no central spot. But by doing that, we're really cutting costs. And we've had to, because as the revenue has diminished, we used to be up here. We make I think the best year we made $9 million in the best year in advertising. And so we were able to spend that money. We spent on the Brick House studio, we spent almost over $1.5 million with your help too, by the way. Those bricks were a good portion of that. But as the advertising revenues diminish, I don't have an investor. There's no Paul Allen here to give us hundreds of millions of dollars. So we have to reduce our costs to match our revenue. The revenue is pretty flat right now. So that's when we started to do the club. The club makes a big difference. The club picks up about half of our payroll. Not all of it, but about half of our payroll. Now, we want to give you a benefit. We've kept the price low. A lot of people say $7, you could charge more, because look at all the shows you get. You get ad-free versions of those. You get additional content that we only offer our club members, including video for a lot of the audio-only shows like Mikah's Hands on Macintosh and iOS Today. But we wanted to keep it low, so we didn't want to make it out of people's reach. You also get access to our great Discord where all the club members hang out. You could talk with smart people, ask questions. It's really a lot of fun. So we kept it at $7 a month. But some people have said, well, we want to support you more. By the way, you can make it more than $7 a month. You can make it as much as you see fit, as you think it's worth. I hope it's worth $7 to you. If you feel like it is, twit.tv/clubtwit. That's how we're going to continue. We can't count on advertising. In fact, at this point, it might be in a couple of years, there is zero advertising. And so we'll only be able to do what the club allows us to do. You see, we're doing our part. We really have cut costs quite a bit. But if you like what you see, that's a long way of going about it. But I want you to understand that I'm not just, some country preacher asking you to send me money. This is really, the money goes directly into Micah's pocket and John's pocket. And at least here, it keeps the lights on. But fortunately, in about 2 months, we're going to be able to turn off the lights. We're going to be able to shut this thing down, sell off the equipment. I hope we can make some money on that, and send people home. And I think that will be a significant cost savings as well. So we're doing our part, and we just like you to do your part if you can. If you can't, don't worry. We're still going to offer free ad-supported stuff as long as we can. twit.tv/clubtwit. I'm sorry to take so much time explaining that, but I think it's important. All right, we're going to take some more calls in just a moment. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. Micah Sargent, Leo Laporte. We would like to keep doing this show, and note there are no ads this week as far as I know. So if you join the club, maybe we can.
That'd be great.
Maybe we can. That'd be nice. All right, who should we talk to next?
I just picked up on Nate.
Hello, Nate. Welcome to the show. Join
Hi, guys.
us. Good to see you. Where are you calling from?
Rock Island, Illinois.
The Rock Island line is a mighty fine line.
Is it an island?
No, we have the Rock Island Arsenal that's on the Mississippi River.
That's right. Yeah.
So we've got a couple questions here for you guys.
Yes, sir.
So I have a Mac, and I use another computer that's got some drives that I connect to. And whenever that computer reboots, those drives go offline. So I'm just kind of curious how I can reattach to those drives when that does happen.
Are you using what protocol are you using to share those drives?
They're on a Windows machine, so I think it's
SMB.
Probably.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. SMB is notorious kind of for failing. The other thing is you want to make sure your Windows is using SMB. Boy, now it's been a long time. 2?
I think it's 2.
Yeah.
2, I believe.
Yeah, 1.2 was flawed, fatally, as it turned out. But I also have noticed that is not unusual. That the shares often drop off, and I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, there's so many factors at play, especially if for some reason something decides to try to tickle the drive, and it's at a period of time where the drive is, asleep, or there's some other power saving thing going on, then it immediately panics and thinks that it's not there. That can cause issues. So basically you're saying from another machine, you are trying to access those drives, and occasionally they just fall off. You don't have
access to them. Is there any way to have the Mac, I don't know, ping it or kind of wake up and say, where?
Yeah, so this
shares?
happens more often, if the computer decides to do a Windows update, or I lose power and then it comes back online, and the Mac boots before the Windows machine, and then it can't find the drives, and then that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so you kind of you want it to say, okay, I don't see the drives, so let me check again. And then, I don't see them yet. Let me check again. One way you could probably do that is with a little bit of scripting, but I don't know about anything that's kind of user facing for that.
I've heard this question many, many times, and I've had the same issue myself with these shares dropping off, and I don't know why it happens. It's kind of frustrating. And I'm not sure why it happens, but I know it does. So let me see if our wonderful club members, here is Scooter X found something on Reddit on how to automatically reconnect an SMB drive if it is dropped. It takes a lot for recent versions of macOS to drop a share. You're on a recent version, right? This is a couple of years ago. From Finder, you can use Go, connect to server, and use the. Do you do that, by the way? Do you manually?
I have it set up to connect to the drive on boot.
Mhm.
So it automatically on boot of the Mac, it will go out and find the drive.
So you could have an automatic script that would
That's what I'm
periodically
thinking.
connect to the server's SMB address.
Okay.
Yeah, basically this thread isn't very helpful. It's still an issue. A year later, still an issue. Maybe a static IP address for the Windows machine, would that help? That might be one
Everything
issue.
is static.
It's all static? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that. So, do you know the SMB address of that machine? Have you looked to see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it'd be possible to have a script. Well, first of all, you could do it manually. You could even set up a script that if you've lost the share, you double click it so you don't have to go to the Go menu, and it would connect again. And it would be possible, I think, to have a script that would run periodically. I know it would be possible to run periodically. What's the best we used to use cron to do this on Unix machines, but I don't think you use cron on a Mac. I think you use launchd. I think maybe that's not even still it changes all the time, but it's possible to create a script that would run in the background periodically, like a cron job.
Yeah, I think cron is still accessible as
Cron's probably still. Apple never gets rid of these Unix.
Yeah.
They finally got rid of Emacs after many years. Yeah.
I don't know a way of doing this just kind of user facing, easy. I think it's going to take some behind the scenes.
Just write a little.
just write a little script.
Here we go. How to mount. Here's a article. Thank you. Scooter X is really great at Googling things. How to mount Samba shares automatically.
Oh no, that's
what?
Sorry, this is just this. He's already doing this.
Oh, he's already doing this.
Yeah, he's got it in his user. You have this right. You dragged the drives over into your user login items. That's what you do to.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm currently doing.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's never a problem. If you reboot the Mac, it'll just automatically remount those. It's only a problem when the Mac is still running and then the machine goes out on the Windows side, and you want a way to rejoin it. You can use the Go menu, or you could probably just write a quick little script that would automatically do it. I wouldn't have something running in the background.
Yeah.
It seems like there should be a better way to do this.
Do you the other thing I would ask is the Windows machine something that you use regularly, or is it just there to serve as a place to access these drives?
Mainly just to access those drives.
Okay, so then you might try just potentially going for like a Raspberry Pi or something that reboots a lot less, and connect them to that and use that as the kind of headless essentially. And basically roll your own NAS a little bit, as opposed to this Windows machine that, of course, Microsoft's always pushing updates from.
AutoFS.
AutoFS.
AutoFS. This is a reconnector. The site can't be reached, so this is an old answer. Does this ring a bell? This is from a super user question. 14 years. Yeah, let's not use. I feel like AutoFS is still around, though. That sounds really familiar.
You could create a script that you then also add to your login item that runs whenever the Mac reboots, and it just says it's basically just a what am I trying to say? It's a loop. Hey, keep trying.
So yeah, AutoFS is a Unix tool that automatically mounts network volumes. And if you have a folder, which you probably do, that is the share folder that's been disconnected, as soon as you open that folder, AutoFS says, hello. And it is pre-installed on a Mac. So I'll give you this link. It's from a GitHub gist to make AutoFS automatically reconnect. Oh, this looks like exactly what you want.
Perfect.
Yeah. AutoFS. That's, as soon as I saw that name, I went, oh, yeah. AutoFS. That'll do it. So this looks like the solution. I'm going to put this in the Discord. John Ashley will then put it in our show notes. It is a GitHub gist, and I think this will do it. Apparently, let me just see if I still have it. I have a modern Mac. No, it doesn't. So you'll have to install it. Probably Brew will install it. See if Homebrew will find it. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. That's all the stuff I don't have. Maybe not. Auto SSH, Auto Firma. Maybe it is no longer available. Now I'm sad because I thought I had the answer. How old is this gist?
Wow, they call it Mac OS 10. It's that old.
Oh, yeah. Apple used to include that, but there's got to be something modern. Here's AutoFS in Catalina. Does not auto mount. 5 options for auto mounting network shares. This is from 2 years ago. Oh, there's a program called Connect Me Now. Connect Me Now is mount network shares quick and easy on a Mac. I wonder if this will automatically rejoin, though. So, and he has made this 64-bit. Mounting network shares, supporting protocols. Connect Me Now. It is in a menu bar. It runs in the menu bar, which is
that's kind of
nice.
nice.
Yeah. So, and this is 64-bit. He's updated this. Connect Me Now V3. This is from a couple of years back. So that looks like a good possibility.
Something to look at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a little bit quicker than, making sure you have Finder, Command K.
From our brilliant team tech guy in the Discord. Auto mounter for Mac OS ensures your shares are always mounted. This is, at Pixelize, I know Pixelize stuff. This looks good too. Auto mounter from Pixelize. pixeleyes.co.nz. This looks like it's fancy.
Ooh, mount
fancy.
rules, wake on LAN.
Yeah, this looks nice.
There was server discovery, so that might mean that.
Yeah. Does support SMB as well as Apple File Protocol. And good news. It's on the App Store. That makes it even better. Even mo better. Auto mounter, $10 on the App Store. Tired of mounting your network shares? Auto mounter ensures your shares are always mounted when you need them. Sleek, powerful. Yeah, I think this replaces AutoFS.
Yeah. What you want.
And there are pro settings, but it's free for the automatically mounts SMB, quickly remounts shares if they unmount. Yeah, this does what you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Yay.
So there. Sorry it took us so long.
No, that's all right.
Yeah,
I'll save my other question for another time.
Oh, come on. Give us another question.
It's okay, yeah.
Now I'm feeling cocky.
I will say somebody in the reviews for this literally explained the same problem that you were having and that this
It's a
solved
common
their problem. So this is great.
And System D, you can't have a System D mount, but that's on Unix and Linux. Yeah, I think auto mounter is the right answer. Thank you, Sig Poggy. Sig Poggy in the Discord. Woo! Found it, our Club Twit member. All right, question number 2.
All right, question number 2. I do a lot of home automation. I've got a Honda Accord that whenever I drive nearby the house, for some reason, something triggers like Siri on my phone and takes over the audio on my car. Is there any way
I'm not going to help you with that. I can't help you with that. No.
Sorry, something takes over Siri?
Only when he gets close to the house.
So you get close to the house?
He gets close. You know what he's getting close to is the HomeKit hub, which could be an Apple TV or a HomePod. And the car is saying, we're home.
Yeah, but I don't understand the part where you're saying it connects to Siri. What do you mean? You hear a da-dong? What do you mean by that?
Well, like on my dash, I will see like the connection, like the audio drops out on whatever I'm listening to. And on my display, it shows the little like in the car, it's got like a face with like sound waves coming off of it.
Yeah. That's the Siri's listening.
Like
yeah.
Interesting.
Huh.
And then, but the thing is, I also have to like trigger Siri again to say like cancel to get it to bring back the audio.
Okay, so there are a couple of things here. I assume you've gone into on your phone settings, Bluetooth, and you have looked at the list of Bluetooth items there, and you have removed ones that you don't use regularly. Because my first thought is this. If there is a device in your home,
it's trying to join the Bluetooth.
If there's a device in your home that's a Bluetooth device, and for some reason it currently has the like center button pressed down, the thing that would trigger Siri, then when you Bluetooth connect to it, then it's automatically like turning on the voice to try to connect to Siri. Then the other, you'd say no, but this has literally happened to me before. So I used to have.
So when you got within 30 feet of your house,
I had a little controller on my car steering wheel before I had the car that I have now, and I had it just sitting on a shelf, and it got pressed down. And when I would come home, then it would think that it'd connect, and then it would try to be talking on my phone. Anyway, that's where that comes from.
That actually happened to him.
Yeah. The other thing is
that's crazy.
Do you have any? Because you said home automation stuff. Do you have? Is your garage door opener connected? Yep. Yeah. So the only other thing that that I'm thinking of is I know that there are specific settings for those security devices, like a garage door, and I can't remember how Apple has you authenticate essentially. And I'm wondering if it's trying to get you to like authenticate with your voice that yes, I do want the car or the garage door to open. The other place that I would suggest that you look, well, there are two. Open the Home app, go into automation, and check those to make sure that you don't have an automation set up that's like, when I get this close to my house, do this, because there could be something.
You could.
And then the other one is in
waking up Siri seems so weird.
In the Shortcuts app, also go into the automation section and make sure that you don't have a shortcut there that is like, when I'm close to my home, I want you to do this. And for some, especially in home, there are the intercom options for the HomePod Mini and all of those. Sometimes that can be, basically, I think you need to audit a few places just to check what location-based stuff you have and see if there might be something there that is trying to trigger the microphone for some reason.
How close to the house do you have to be for this to happen?
It's usually about a block away.
See, Bluetooth won't go a block.
That's true. Yeah, if it's a block, then that would have to be a Wi-Fi connection.
Block of your house.
The only thing I've set up is just for the lights to come on when I get home. So, I mean, I don't know of anything that's in there that can you trigger.
When you're a block away, can you see the lights in your house? Can you see if they're going on from a block away?
Not from the direction I usually come. No.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I mean, that you do have a home automation that says hello.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it would make
sense primarily.
Yeah, on HA.
Okay. I just double check those two automations places, and then
that's hysterical.
Give it a shot on just disabling those automations one time if you haven't done that, and just see. Okay. And then if for some reason, then you know that there's something else going on. At least you're one step further. But it is very strange. I don't know why it's automatically activating and asking for something. That's very odd.
Crazy.
Well, thanks, guys. Leo, big fan.
Thank you.
Been a fan since high school. So
now you're making me feel old. Well. That's awesome. I am so pleased. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate
it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your questions, and good luck.
I think we found something with Automatter. Thank you, Sig Poggy. That is a great find. Very clever. It sounds like, I think that's what's the real strength of this show is. It's not just you and me. We can't answer every question, but we've got this great group of people in our club who know a lot and who also do good research, like Scooter X, and can find stuff. That is so weird that a block away, that's a lot. That's hundreds of feet away.
Yeah, that has to be.
It's not Bluetooth.
It can't be Bluetooth. It has to be Wi-Fi.
Home Assistant. Yeah, it must be Wi-Fi. So he's joining the Wi-Fi.
And then something is saying...
Somebody's saying, hey, Shlomo.
Yeah. And they see, but Siri, I don't think that Home Assistant has the ability to inherently activate Siri. So that's why I really feel like it's a shortcut automation or a home automation.
Right.
Because those two things can. And I know that Apple has some authentication stuff for if you try to tell it to automatically open your garage door, then it will.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It will authenticate. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's that garage door opener, I bet you. That's one way to easily diagnose it. Just turn one thing off in HA.
That's why, that's something to try at least.
Just at least see. What a great question. Two questions. John Ashley, I see you standing. Does that mean you want us to do something?
No, I want you to take this caller, answer this caller's question right here.
Okay.
*6 to unmute yourself. Dear caller.
Dear caller.
You are on the air.
You're on the air with Micah Sargent and Leo Laporte, the tech guys.
I'm sorry, Leo.
What's your first name and where are you calling from?
To you. Jeff from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, Jeff. How long have you been listening to me? Make me feel old, Jeff.
I'm not sure whether 30 years, maybe weekends at KFI was the first time I listened to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that started in 2004, so 20 years anyway. Yeah.
20 years. Not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, I have a Hotmail account, which I've had since I started listening to you, and it's my first name and my last name at hotmail.com.
Right.
I use the Edge browser to sign in using outlook.com.
Right.
About Tuesday of last week, I got a message that my account has been locked due to activity that violates their service agreement. They have a URL that you check, aka.ms/compliance lock. When I complete that form, I get an email a few minutes later saying they don't have my first name and my last name at hotmail.com as an account. I tried the Authenticator account to sign in. I've tried my phone app to sign in. And I just can't get in. And I've tried different browsers. Do you have any suggestions?
Tell me what was asked for in that form that you filled out. What did they tell you to put in?
I'm sorry, Micah. Let me click on it again.
Did they ask you to put in your password?
No. It says Microsoft account review form, my name, my contact email address, which I put in a different email address than first name, last name at Hotmail, the disabled account email address, my phone number, any additional information, what product am I trying to use, type of issue, experience, and logging in, and then a caption form.
So it might be related to the fact that Microsoft announced at the beginning of this year they were going to migrate everybody to Outlook. And I'm wondering if that's related to that. Hotmail was bought by Microsoft many years ago. And it sounds like they are changing it over so that your hotmail.com address would be outlook.com.
Okay, so Leo, my new
it'd be first name, last name.
Microsoft email address would be first name, last name at outlook.com.
That's right.
Okay.
So
thank you. I'll try it. And
I would just see if that works. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably related to this. This they said they're going to start doing it gradually to everybody this year.
No, I never received a notification.
Well, of course,
so that would have been nice. And
but also for it to say that you were violating the terms of service.
Yeah, that's puzzling.
So the reason why I asked you what was typed into the form is because I was trying to get to the root of whether it sounded like this was a phishing thing. Because you said that the website was aka.ms. Anyone can create an aka.ms site. If you use Microsoft products, you can, because we have an aka.ms site.
We do?
That's part of our back end stuff.
I didn't know that. Oh.
So that's why I just felt weird about this. But the fact that you didn't have to type in your password on that form, I don't know. I don't like this. The link being sent to your email where you go and fill out a form feels odd.
Always sounds bad. Yeah.
But I get to that link going through Microsoft.com.
Oh.
Going through their Outlook or Hotmail stuff, and that's the end result is that link.
Okay.
So,
have you noticed any disruptions to your email?
I can't get it. I can't sign into the email account to see if there's any disruptions.
Okay.
So,
well, that sounds like.
So if you go to the Outlook sign-in page and use your Hotmail address, you can't sign in there.
Correct. It gives me the same error message. I don't even get to. But I'll try logging out and I'll try some things then and see if that works.
Yeah.
And there is no. Are you aware of a paid service that Microsoft has to fix this?
No.
You know, they have me over a barrel, and I know it's a free account, but I'm willing to pay to get it fixed.
Yeah. And you don't know of any malicious behavior. This is just.
No.
This is from January. No, this is not. I really wonder if they. I don't know.
And you don't know of a paid Microsoft provider that I could get help from?
I mean, I guess if you signed up for Microsoft 365, then you could try.
Well, I would call the Microsoft help number and then ask them, can I escalate this? I'm willing to pay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And see.
Okay. Well, I've tried that, and you get the dial 1 for X, dial 2 for Y, and maybe I'll try that again as well. Maybe I'll try dialing different numbers for
This is the problem with and you've heard me say this, so I don't want to belabor it. You've been listening for 20 years. You've heard me say this many times. There's a problem with a free email service is who you're going to call when something goes wrong. And it feels like something's gone wrong.
Right. I use a paid service for my business account. I'm a sole practitioner attorney, so that's 100% safe. And
you have somebody to call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have somebody to call?
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know who. It feels like if you could get through to Microsoft paid support, and they said, well, it's going to be. But the problem is, don't Google. This is, by the way, another way people get burned all the time is they Google for a support number, and then they get some bad guy
who's just kind of moved up the ranks.
Yeah, so make sure if you do it that Microsoft pay per incident support. This is at Microsoft.com. You could say this is a business issue. And, you know,
it is. A lot of secondary authentication goes through that Hotmail account.
Yeah. This one looks like you have to buy it through as an enterprise. Yeah.
Okay, because I tried the 800-642-7676.
Right.
And like I said, I get the dial X and Y, etc. All right. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the show.
Oh, man, I failed you here. Thank you for calling, though. And thanks for listening for 20 years. Wow. Long time. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. Mikah Sargent, Leo Laporte. I want to do an email or maybe a voicemail when we come back.
Beautiful.
Yes.
How about instead of email?
No.
We do.
I'm just kidding.
This viewer question right here.
Here's a voicemail.
Hi, Leo and Mikah. My name is Jim.
Hi, Jim.
And I'm a retired minister in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh, my.
I've been watching you, Leo, since the screensaver days, and I am a proud member of Club TWiT.
Thank you.
The reason that I'm getting in touch is I have a website that people use to find me when they want to do weddings, but they're having trouble getting there. The problem is they put in my name, jimeaston.net. I'm going to show this because I'm not trying to really plug it. I just need you guys to understand what's going on with it. unless they put in the https://, it says that the server can't be found. I have called iPage many times and said, fix this. And they keep telling me they have, but they haven't. So what can I do? What connection is not being made so that people can just simply put in jimeaston.net and find my website? Thanks for your help, guys. I really appreciate it. And carry on.
Thank you, Jim. I just put it in and
it worked.
Yeah, it worked for me. It worked for me just fine. I didn't type in HTTPS first. I just typed in Jim Easton, EASTIN.net, and it worked.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a forwarding error. It could have been that at one point, I think you said iPage is your
it's a DNS problem.
Yeah,
probably.
and I wonder if they used to only do HTTP, and then they turned on HTTPS. And when they did that, it was still getting locked into the HTTP that wasn't there anymore or something like that. But yeah, mine automatically added HTTPS and went to the
They
website.
probably knew that you were going to call. Yeah. And they said, we better darn well fix this. It's a DNS error. So DNS is, the domain name system, takes a written address and turns it into a number. The browser needs the number. And if it doesn't get a number back from DNS, it'll say, well, the site doesn't exist, or I can't get there, or more likely you'll see address not resolved. And it's a couple of possibilities. It sounds like perhaps it wasn't a secure site and then became a secure site.
Yeah.
But usually you don't have to type, the browser will not need the HTTPS://.
Also, I tried it on Chrome now, Firefox, and Safari. It resolved in all of them.
All right.
So
it's fixed.
It's fixed.
Thank God.
Thanks for the call.
and it looks like he does beautiful weddings. This really looks really, really great. What a nice way to retire. Just tie the knot for people.
Yeah, you get to learn a little bit about the couple.
Lisa and I were married by a former priest, a Catholic priest from Ireland. He called him Peter, and he fell in love, and so he stopped being a priest, got married.
Aww.
They call him grass priests. You're never not a priest, so he's still able to marry people, and he was wonderful. He said we had such wonderful things to say at the wedding.
You know what I just learned about California? It's one of a few states where your dog can serve as a witness on your certificate of marriage.
Do they do a paw print?
You do a paw print. Yeah.
And you're wondering why? Do you have a dog that you want? You want Henry and Mitzi to be your witnesses?
To be two of them, yes. Yes. I think it's going to be amazing. And
they do a
adorable.
little paw print, and that counts.
And it counts. Because
do they do it for cats?
Any pet.
Oh.
So the reason why
Lizards?
this works, it's a different thing. It's the truth is that
You don't need a
California
witness.
does not require you to have
That's the real
witnesses.
truth.
Yeah. And so your dog can put the paw print on there, your cat can, because you don't need witnesses in California. It's called like self-solemnity or something like that. The self-solemnity rule.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Aw. Is there some reason you're
Yeah,
investigating
I
that?
might be getting married soon, so
Oh,
next year.
isn't that nice? Have you set a date?
We've set a range. We haven't set a specific
date
date.
range.
See, the first step is to set
Save the range. You have to
Yes.
send out cards now.
Early summer.
Early summer sounds perfect. Perfect. Well, I don't expect an invitation, but I would like to send you a very expensive gift. I just want to set the stage for this. Replacing what? When's your wedding, John Ashley?
Sometime next year too.
Yeah.
Lots of weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kevin King got engaged. We got 3 weddings coming up?
Yes.
And we just had a baby. Not me.
You're supposed to-
Collectively. It's
what?
the royal
Viva
fleet.
just had a baby. So this is a fecund group or something.
I don't remember what that word means. I'll be honest with you.
I'm curious myself too.
Let's see.
Replacing the mail app in Windows 11,
Yeah.
asks Kevin, enjoying retirement for 43 years of broadcasting.
Oh, hello, Kevin.
Hello, Kevin. I once went to a convention of radio DJs.
Did they all?
It was at the Mark Hopkins in San Francisco, and in the lobby, Everybody's voice goes down an octave. They go, hello, yes, I'm at WGW in New Berlin, Mexico.
And you said, no, be serious with me. And they're like, hi, Leo.
Hi. And when they talk, it's like this. But when they're talking to each other, they are announcing, Kevin. Hi, guys. Kevin here from suburban Chicago. I'm a longtime listener watcher. Hello, Kevin. I have Windows 11, and I've been using the Mail app for my emails. Ooh. Recently, Microsoft mandated that users of Mail switch over to Outlook. This is like the same story, isn't it? As part of a Windows update, I also use a version of Outlook from 365 for my corporate affiliations email account. That account's secure, and I cannot add additional accounts to that application. Oh, interesting. That's an interesting conundrum. So basically, I have Windows default Outlook and Outlook 365 on my computers.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. My problem is that Mail allowed for me to link or consolidate all 5 email accounts into one inbox. Basic default Outlook won't allow that. That means I have to click into 5 different accounts to read the inbox.
So annoying.
Is there any other email client that is free that I can use until Microsoft gets their act together?
For Windows, is Thunderbird still an option?
Yeah, Thunderbird's a good choice, actually. Yeah, Thunderbird, which was for a while was orphaned. It was a Mozilla email client, very nice one, has been kind of revived. Windows, Mac, and Linux. It is free forever. You can donate it if you want. And it does combine multiple IMAP accounts into one. Now, if you're using Exchange, that might be a little more tricky. But if it's IMAP, if all of those accounts are IMAP, they'll all go into one inbox, and then you can sort them and so forth. See that? Unified inbox. So that would be our recommendation. I think, for a long time, I tried all sorts of Windows email clients. I ended up using, I wonder if it's still around, one called Pegasus. And it was so funky and old. Yep, still around. pmail.com. But just look at the website.
Look at it. You got to zoom in to even see anything.
Yeah, it's a single person.
By David.
But it's actually quite good, and it's free as well. So you might take a look at it. I like using quirky, individually written email clients. I use on Mac. I use one called MailMate from Freeron.
It sounds like they're all made up.
It does.
I use Klorbishire from Doulahan.
But I actually really like MailMate, and I actually I'm a patron. I give him $10 a month or whatever it is. Pegasus used to be really a great tool, and it looks like it's still up to date. So if you look at Thunderbird and you say, yeah, Thunderbird's kind of classic. Everybody uses it, and you'll get a lot of support. Pegasus is a little bit more out in left field, but it's also free. And David Harris makes that. And I think it's a very nice tool. Now, speaking of tools, John Ashley, what would you like us to do next? That's mean. That was mean. It was mean. That was mean. That was unkind. That was unconsciously mean.
How could you? I see David. I want to pick up on the Zoom call.
Okay. Hello, David. Join us in the Stargate.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now, David. Welcome to the show.
Okay.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Okay. Barrie, Ontario, Canada.
Nice. I like Canada. I like Ontario.
Okay.
What's
my
up?
issue is I have Linux Mint 21 on my laptop because Microsoft won't install my computer on that laptop. And when I use the program, it won't update. I have to go into the command line and have to do it through the command line. What's the issue? It says it won't do security update.
So, updating Linux is a little different than updating Windows. Most Linux installations have at least 2 installers: a graphic installer and a command line. And in fact, Linux Mint, which is based on Ubuntu, has several command line installers. Now, I always
can I just say I have input on there, and I don't have from.
Yeah, you do have Ubuntu.
Yeah, I have both of them on there.
So, but Mint is, Mint is Ubuntu Plus, and one of the things they do differently is they change the repositories. So I think you do want to use the Mint repository.
Can I say the only reason I have Mint is for some reason I can't use one program on Ubuntu. That's the only reason I have 2.
Oh, so there is a program that you need. Ubuntu doesn't support, but Mint does.
Yeah.
What's that program?
It's hold on a second. Kodi.
Oh yeah. So you use that for watching TV? KODI?
Yeah. And it won't work on Bluetooth, but it will work on Mint.
And you're saying that you try to do the graphics installer.
Yeah, and it says for some reason it won't install security updates. I look at the update; they're basically just updating like Edge or nothing security based, but it won't do it. I have to go into command line and have to do the hardware.
Yeah, and you don't want to use the command line because honestly, that's.
Oh no, I
always
don't mind
do that.
using it. I don't mind using the command line. I just want to know what the issue is.
Right. And what graphical? Do you know what the name of the graphical installer you're using?
No.
I'm trying to remember what Mint uses.
Well, because I'm trying to. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm trying to go away from Microsoft because Windows 11 won't install any of my computer.
Right. No, and Mint's a good choice. Mint's a good choice. So
I love Mint.
Yeah, no, I think Mint's fantastic. So you're using probably Software Manager, right? Or no?
Yeah, it was Software Manager.
Software Manager. And when you launch Software Manager, it shows you all the things you need to install, and you press the apply button, but it won't apply security updates.
It says it won't install anything because of security issues.
So it won't install anything, and it says, are you logged in as, you know what? I bet you're not logged in as a administrator.
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Why? So it says because of security. Is it your sense that when it's saying that, it's saying you have a security problem on your computer?
No, because I did a clean install because
it still does it with a clean install.
Yeah. I even did from the thumb drive.
And it won't do it. It won't do it if you boot from the thumb drive.
No.
I wonder why it's doing this.
Because it doesn't have any built-in tools like Windows does, where it's looking at the hardware and saying, "Oh, this is too old."
I will say I'm using a VPN.
That should make. Well, that might be okay. Try turning off the VPN. That might keep you from getting to the repositories.
Okay.
I'm think that may actually be it. It may be blocking.
Well, but I have it on when they do for command line.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
When you do it from the command line, do you type sudo and then apt? So it sounds like you're not running as an administrator when you're running Software Manager. There should be a way to
said-
escalate that. It's funny, I haven't used Mint in a long time, and I'm trying to remember. There should be a way to escalate the software manager as you are doing when you type sudo, right? Sudo is saying, I'm now going to be the super user, and please execute apt or whatever the installer is that you're using. When you're doing it in the graphical interface, does it ever ask you for a password?
No.
That's the problem.
And
It thinks you're running. It's not letting you install because you are not running as a super user. So,
but it's the same username, password, and everything.
No, I know, but that's how Linux works. That's how it works. You can't just do stuff from your user account unless you escalate, and that's why you type sudo before you do your install on the command line. What's happening with Software Manager is, for some reason, it's not running escalated. I'm trying to remember. Let me see if I can find the command.
That would be helpful.
It should do that automatically.
Well, I know.
Software Manager does not work as standard user. It should prompt you for a password, and that's the problem. It's not. And until it prompts you for password, you're a normal user. You don't have the permissions to do the install. And so that's exactly why it's doing that to you. And I'm just trying to see if there's a way. Normally what it would do, you might look in your menu and see if there is a software manager, run software manager as super user or as administrator or as root.
Hopefully he's still listening. He's no longer on the call.
Okay. Software manager does not work as standard user. Yeah, so if you're, well, I know you're in the sudoers group because you're able to do it from the command line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one issue, is if your user wasn't in the group of users that are allowed to escalate. When you log into Mint, you're a normal user that can elevate privileges to super user. And of course, in order to do that, you'll be asked for the password. That's why when you do sudo and then the name of your installer, apt or apt-get, you'll be asked for a password before you can do that. Software Manager should be asking you for a password. It's not. And I'm not sure why it's not. Maybe look in the menus. I'm looking at a forum post, which gives you all sorts of ways to launch Software Manager from the command line as a super user, but you don't want to do that. That's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, what you would do is run Software Manager. It would ask for a password and then install the software. I don't know why it's not asking for the password. You have to elevate. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. What you could do from the command line is type sudo, that escalates you, space, mint install. That's the software manager. Mint install, no space, one word. That should open Software Manager as administrator.
That's what I was reading as well.
Yeah. But it should do that anyway.
Right. That's why.
So I'm not sure why it's not doing that.
Yeah. Something going wrong with the initial install process, but
yeah, but he says it doesn't. Yeah, I can see how it wouldn't run off the USB key. That's a read-only operating system, so you wouldn't be able to write anyway. You could try sudo space mint install and see if that works. If it does, then you're going to be at least in the graphical interface as an administrator. It's the same thing as typing sudo apt-get, which is probably what you're doing on the command line. I'm just puzzled. I'm not sure why. And by the way, they say don't use SUDU. Use GKSU. Okay, fine. GKSU is probably safer. GKSU space M mint install. JKSU space mint install. I don't know what else is going on, but for some reason your mint install thinks you're not a super user. And that's all there is to that. It's an interesting Linux issue. Can I do an email? Or what do you want me to do, John?
I think it's time for us to take a moment.
Let's take a breather. As YouTube TV calls it, a moment of zen. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. Micah Sargent on your left, Leo Laporte on your right. And I'm glad you're here. Time to take another call, John Ashley.
All right. I want to pick up on James.
Hello, Jane.
Hey, Leo and Micah.
Hey,
Thanks
what's
for
your
taking
first
my call.
name and what city are you calling from?
James, calling from Philadelphia.
James from Philly. Hello, James.
I'm a happy Club Twit member. Want to shout that out.
It seems like everybody's a member now, which is great. That makes me so happy.
It's a good thing, right? That's what we want.
It's what we want. Yeah, thank you.
We're actually discussing on the Club Twit, or not Club Twit, the Twit community forums, twit.community. A lot of people don't know that you can raise your subscription price if you want.
I know. Isn't that funny?
$10.
Yeah, I saw that on the forums as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. What handle do you use on the community forums?
I'm Newman on there. K-N.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah.
I love you. Good to talk to you, Newman. Yeah. Hello, Newman.
I wanted to call in because at home I use an Ubiquiti Unify Wi-Fi system. I love it. It's great.
As do I. Yes.
A lot of management overhead. My parents, they're just now getting fiber to the home, and they asked me what Wi-Fi they should get. And I'm not going to recommend Unify because
you have to be kind of it's an advanced system for expert users.
And I've been with Unify so long, I really don't know what the landscape is out there right now for Wi-Fi. So
I would do what Micah does.
Yeah. How much of a help do you want to be to your folks? Are you okay?
They're about 2 hours away at this point, so hands off.
Yeah. Well, so here's the great thing. There are multiple reasons why I'm about to recommend what I'm about to recommend. I'll just tell you what I'm about to recommend. Eero. And the reason why is because you
can manage it remotely.
Can help manage it remotely.
I manage my mom's Eero from here in Rhode Island.
Yeah. So if they do end up having an issue, then you're able to see their network and do a restart or whatever it happens to be. Eero, I think is the best bet. It really
Were you
is
an
just a
Eero
plug and
customer
play.
before Amazon bought them?
Yes, I was.
And did you notice any changes once Amazon bought them?
Just the addition of a few Amazon features, but outside of that, no. And the price drop. It
went down.
Yeah. Things
That's
got less expensive over time.
The one thing to note with Eero, it is a little more expensive than we're used to with routers because it's a managed mesh system. You're going to go
Is
at
it
least
a subscription service?
You don't have to have the subscription service though. The subscription service gives you access to some extra features, including you get a free VPN if you want to use it. You get a free Malware Bytes subscription if you want to use it, and you get a free 1Password subscription if you want to use it. None of those are required. It also has features like dynamic DNS, which you wouldn't get otherwise, and some more in-depth ad blocking and kind of protection features that keep
so if
people
you
from
don't,
visiting
and it's
malicious sites.
$99 a year. If you don't do that,
if you don't do that or want that,
it's not
you
a big
don't need
deal. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I would not get the Eero Max 7. They now have Wi-Fi 7.
Oh, they don't need 7.
No, $1,700 for the system. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
No, they don't. 6E is
And
a
that's
little
for
less,
3 of them,
550.
to be clear. This is for 3 of them. And
For 3 of them.
depending on the size of the home, and Leo and I actually just talked about this, you don't necessarily want to fill your home with too many of these devices because they end up competing with each other. So depending on the size of the home, it might be good to just have one, maybe 2.
Let me ask you a question. Do mom and dad get the latest iPhone when it comes out?
No, they're happy Android users.
Okay. So I would get the Eero Pro 6. There's no reason to get anything faster. They have a 6E and they have a 7, and the price goes up dramatically. 6 is 3 units for $400, which actually is a lot less than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
They've really dropped the price. I think that's good. The 6 Plus is $300. So depending on how price sensitive they are, and they also have 2-packs and 1-packs. They've really, you know what? The price is really
$139.
Yeah, that's the 6 Plus, which is less than the Pro 6, which is more than the 6. I don't know which one. Which one does he need? How fast is their internet? You said they have fiber?
Yeah, they just got fiber to the home.
So
they live out in the middle of nowhere.
You're
so
going to want the 6 Plus because at least the 6 Plus because that's gigabit.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's $239 for a 2-pack. Now some people don't want the 2-pack. They want the 3-pack, which was $299. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, not bad.
And I tell you what's nice about this is they won't complain about their Wi-Fi not working in the
That's
den.
the chief. Yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah.
I need no complaints.
No complaints. I think Eero is a very good choice. I like you. I use Ubiquiti. I love Ubiquiti. But it is, because we're pros and we have VLANs and we have elaborate systems and Ethernet in all the rooms and stuff like that. But if you just for mom and dad, I think Eero is a really good choice. That's what I got my mom. So I think that's what Micah uses.
And same for my family because I know I can check in on if I need to. And everything just works.
Do they need a hardware connection, an Ethernet port?
Only for the initial.
They don't want desktop. So they'll need one Ethernet.
Yeah, one next to the fiber box, but I mean like elsewhere.
Oh yeah. They have a desktop computer right next to it that'll need an Ethernet input.
Okay, so some of these are not. I think the cheapest ones do not have Ethernet.
Let's see, the 6 Plus might have
6 Plus
one in the back. So what I have done, and it's not expensive to do this, is I have, for my system, I've got some TP-Link switches. And so basically,
there you go.
Yeah,
so they have one in and they have one out.
And then I
take 2 out. That's right. Yeah.
I take the one that comes out of it and I run it to that TP-Link switch. I think it's an 8 switch, and then everything else
then
I
you have
connect off of that.
Yeah, all you need is one because obviously everything else connects to the switch. So this is good. This is $300 for the Eero 6 Plus. It's a gigabit system, so it gives them all the speed of their fiber. Boy, that seems like it's a pretty good solution. And each one of these has an extra Ethernet port. 4,500 square feet. The three. They say about 1,500 square feet per beacon, per device.
Okay.
Yep. This also has a smart home hub, so you can really give yourself a support nightwear and get them to have a smart home.
There you go. My lights won't turn on. What's going on? Like, oh golly.
This is interesting. And by the way, Prime Day, as you know, is coming on the 16th. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, wait for that.
And I think they have already early Eero Prime Day deals.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, well, there you go.
So now's the time.
Buy it from Amazon.
Oh, my gosh.
Save some money.
Big price cuts. Holy cow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Wow. Now, it's funny. Eero used to be easily the most expensive Wi-Fi out there. Now might be the most affordable.
Yeah.
It's a good choice.
And still good stuff.
Hey, it's great to talk to you, Newman.
All right, thanks, guys.
I think we don't mention the TWiT community enough. It's a really...
We need more people in there. It's a great spot to hang out.
I agree. We have a forum. We use Discourse software. They were a sponsor, and it's at twit.community. It's free to join. You don't have to be a club member. And the idea behind this is it's a comment section for every show. So you see every show has... And there are commenters on here. I bet you Newman's in one of these for sure.
Yeah, I'm always on the Windows Weekly ones.
There you go. All right. So this is definitely a great, even if you're a club member, great place to hang out. Highly recommend it. This is the one you hosted, Micah. You're drinking wood.
Yes.
I missed that episode.
Oh, you really missed the twig. I'll tell you.
I hear twig was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Something about fake skin or something.
Yeah. It was something.
Okay.
Let's just say Paris Martineau, she
got
knows a thing or
wild
two about how to do research.
I think I should just let you have that show. I think it was, people said it's the funniest twig in ages. Wonderful. Anyway, Newman, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for being in the TWiT community and listening to Windows Weekly, and we'll see you around.
Well, thank you guys. Have a good one.
My pleasure.
Thanks
Take
so much.
care. We have twit.community. We also have twit.social. If you're interested in Mastodon, we have our own Mastodon, and both of these are open to all. But with the Mastodon, you have to be a listener. So if somebody applies and says, I just want to hang, I don't let you in, you have to say, Leo sent me, or I listened to This Week in Google, or I listened to Windows Weekly, or something like that. You do not have to be a club member in either case. So if you've been interested in I think, a social network that's got quality, that is not, Instagram has gone off the deep end.
Yeah, seriously.
What the hell?
A mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess. Ads everywhere. People I don't follow. I don't know about you, and I don't know why I'm getting this, but the very first post on my Instagram feed for the last few days has been a naked woman advertising her OnlyFans on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
It's like, I don't want that. I'm baffled. It's like I came this close to erasing the app from my phone. I just was so disappointed.
Everybody's upset right now too because Facebook has been, Meta has been labeling everyone's posts as made with AI, even when they're not.
Your proposal,
like
when you got down on your knee and proposed
in real life,
that was not AI.
No, it's not AI.
Was labeled as AI.
Yeah, and there's this person that I follow who makes miniatures. And like that's their craft, and they sell miniatures. So for their posts where they're showing off what they're able to do to be labeled as AI, the person's going, I swear to you, I took these with my iPhone. These are real. Because that could actually damage the money that she makes, because people will think that the minis that she's making are not real, and then people aren't buying them. And then I know in the film community, and by that I mean the community who takes photos using film and then processes them using scanning and Photoshop, they're up in arms because now Instagram is marking their posts as made with AI.
What?
And they're going, no, I just used Photoshop to develop the photo.
I will not. I will not eat green eggs and ham. I just can't. Do we need another break? I can't remember.
No.
Okay.
In fact,
we're broke.
We should probably listen to this voicemail right here. Play it correctly like this.
By the way, somebody's trying to join.
From Rifle, Colorado.
Hi.
I have a question about finding my next home laptop. I have looked at a couple of different websites with reviews. It seems that they're very polarized. They're all in one camp or the other, and I'm not sure. They're advocating one brand very strongly and then exclude the other ones, or the next website advocates for a different brand. Doesn't seem like I'm getting a fair shakeout of what the best next laptop is for the house. Open to suggestions. Not been a big Mac guy, but open to that as well. And then just a question about spamware for anti-spamware for my phone. I have a Pixel 8 Pro. Any suggestions on that? Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
So 2 questions. Let's start with the laptop. He says maybe a Mac, but not necessarily.
Yeah, not super into it.
Right now, Lenovo, I don't know. Do you think the Copilot Plus PCs are worth?
Paul? Really?
He loves it.
Paul really?
So these are not running Intel, and that's a big shift for Microsoft. But I think that they are pretty good if you want battery life, and the prices are very aggressive now. And I think that that's because companies like Asus, Acer, and Lenovo, Microsoft, and others are really trying to get you to look at these new Snapdragon-based laptops. Let me show you the Lenovo. This is the price. I thought it's the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7X. It's 14-inch, very thin. This is it's hard to give you a laptop recommendation until you tell us what you're looking for, what you want to use it for. But assuming you want a laptop because it's good battery life, it's thin, it's light, and it's powerful, and you want Windows, this is the Windows laptop I would probably get. And I have to say, even if you load it up, it is very affordable. I loaded it up for $1,300 with everything, and I was very, very impressed. But you can do the build your own PC version. Lenovo does this stuff. I would get Windows Home unless you know you need Pro, but Pro's only $28 more. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So let's get 32 gigs of RAM. Unlike Apple, doubling the RAM is $69. To double the RAM on a Mac.
That's it? $69?
Yeah, $69. And to go from 512 gigabyte storage to a terabyte is $45. These are not Apple prices. So for $1,300, this is loaded. Honestly, I came close to buying this because I just thought this is very sweet. This is a sweet deal. So this is the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7X. This is one of the new Copilot Plus PCs. They call it that because it has AI hardware built in, what they call an NPU, a neural processing unit. But honestly, the big difference here is it's running Snapdragon, a Qualcomm processor instead of an Intel processor. It means it's quieter, doesn't have a lot of fan noise, cooler, and better battery life. And from everything we've heard, is very fast. Paul likes his.
Yeah,
so he got a Surface probably.
He did. Yeah. And he had some negative thoughts as...
I'm not a Surface fan, to be honest.
Right. But in terms of him saying, I was able to just open it up, it started, it worked, and the battery lasted a good amount of time. He was very happy with that.
And compatibility seems to be quite good, with the exception of a few weird things like Fortnite. But so you should look into the compatibility issues. I think those will be going away. There are some issues. If you're a gamer, then maybe this isn't the right thing for you. But you didn't give us that information. I personally wouldn't even dream of buying anything but a MacBook Air because I like Mac OS. You like Mac OS. I'm not a Windows fan, but if you want Windows, I think this Yoga Slim is really a nice piece of gear for a very good price. I mean, $1,300 for this is kind of remarkable. His second question, anti-spam on an Android. That really, you didn't focus on the right thing. It's the provider, the email provider that makes the difference. So you don't really, you could run an anti-spam filter on your email program, but I think it's much better to do it with the provider. Google's Gmail used to be really good. It, as far as I can tell, is terrible. Maybe that's because I've had for so long, I've had this Gmail account, Laporte@Gmail. But for some reason, it's just filled. All I see is French spam.
It's French?
Yeah, because Laporte. So, I'll show you my Gmail if you want to see it. It's sad.
All just emails about cheese omelets.
Omelette de fromage. You got it. It is just all spam. It's all French spam. So I can't. Oh, here's a Spanish one. Well, that's nice. At least they're mixing it up. I can't recommend Gmail for spam fighting anymore, nor Outlook. But if, you've heard us talk about our sponsor, Fastmail, they have a very good anti-spam program called Civ that runs on their site. That's the best. Here's why I say this. Ideally, spam should never even hit your phone, especially a phone. So if you put the anti-spam on the phone software, you're going to download all the spam and then eliminate it. What you want to do is not even see it. It should never download.
Exactly.
That means you run it on the server side. That means you want to have an email provider that has good anti-spam. Fastmail is my recommendation. They're our sponsor, I know. Who else do you have anybody else?
Fastmail, yeah, that's what I use.
Proton Mail is very popular these days. I don't know what kind of anti-spam. I imagine they have good anti-spam. Somebody says, is Five Eyes a concern with Fastmail? Well, Fastmail runs its servers in the United States, so if you don't trust the U.S. government, I guess it's a concern. They were an Australian company. They're part of the Five Eyes as well. I should point out, though, email has never been designed really to be private and secure. It's always been like a postcard. Companies like Proton Mail and Tutanota add encryption on top of it, but it's really clunky. You have to be either sending email to another Proton Mail user, or they have to log into Proton Mail to see the decrypted version. It's just not. I would say do not use email for anything you want to have be private. Use Signal use Signal. There are other encrypted messaging programs, but really use Signal. And if you want a really private conversation, just say, hey, let's take this offline onto Signal. Email has never been, it's a postcard, and you should consider that. So Five Eyes or not, if you're living in the United States and somebody's sending you email, unless it's encrypted, they're seeing it. Let me just see what Proton Mail has in terms of, sorry about that, I'll turn off my sound. Proton Mail has in terms of anti-spam, or maybe somebody in our chat room, our Discord can tell us who uses Proton Mail. Do they have good anti-spam? Nobody's saying
Sounds
anything.
like your mother's sister who gives you lots of canned spam. Anti-spam?
Spam, 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 spam. Secure email that protects your privacy, Proton Mail. I mean, I don't have anything against them. I think they're a good company. They are Swiss, so they're good. But it looks like they have anti-phishing and anti-spam built in, so you might look at them as well. Both Fastmail and Proton Mail are paid. Proton Mail does offer this encryption layer on top of it, but again, to me, that's not the ideal way to do encryption. You should just imagine that your email is non-private. It does block trackers. I bet you they have, they say they have good anti-spam, and I bet that they have similar anti-spam. Civ is an open source program, which a lot of companies use. I bet they even use the same one. So there's another choice for you. Fastmail would be my strong choice. Because there's no such thing as an encrypted email. All right, I think we're out of time. I hate to say it. That's terrible.
But thank you for joining us.
I'm just seeing if anybody's got anything. Never got any spam at my Proton email address. There you go. Thing is about that, though, is you don't get spam the first year.
Right. It's after that email's been around for a while.
One of the reasons Laporte@gmail.com is no longer usable is I got it 20 years ago. It's just...
And it ages like curdled milk.
Yeah. There are people I know who change their email address every year. By doing so, they eliminate the possibility of spam because you got a free year before they catch on. Before they catch on. So what he does is he has the same email, but he adds the year.
Oh.
So it'll be Mikah2024@gmail.com.
Got it.
And then next year, 2025. And by doing that, he kind of is one step ahead of the spammers. I just use it. I just use Fastmail. And I still get, spam is a problem. Do you get spam?
Some, yeah. But I usually don't see it.
Yeah, because it gets filtered
in the spam folder.
Right, exactly. All right. We thank you so much for joining us. Micah Sargent will be back on Tuesday with iOS Today. Is it this week? No, next week.
Next week.
But he will be back on Thursday with Tech News Weekly. It's
July 4th.
Happy Independence Day to our American viewers. Now, we do have to explain this because every year on the 4th of July, people say, where's the show? People outside the U.S. say, where's the show? Because in the rest of the world, 4th of July is just another day.
It's just a day.
So for all of our international listeners, and we have a third of our audience is outside the U.S. For all of you, I'm sorry, we're taking Thursday off.
I wonder why specifically we choose July 4th. Like, what is it about the 4th? Is it you? Do you really love the 4th of July? Is it Lisa? Does she love the 4th of July?
It's a freaking legal holiday.
No, I know, but...
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Oh, it's because usually holidays are on Mondays. That's what it is. And this one's just whenever it is.
Right. And it's an American holiday. Is it like Bastille Day?
Yeah.
Or Canadian Independence Day, which is, I think, Tuesday. They like to get a jump. I don't know if you know that about Canadians. They like to be a little ahead of us.
Their Thanksgiving is ahead of,
Yeah, everything's ahead of us. Even Anne Murray and Gordon Lightfoot. Ahead of us. So what were we talking about? So you won't be here on Thursday. Good. Have a nice day off. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So all of the club shows, there won't be one on Thursday.
Micah does on the club does do that crafting corner, which is going to be great next month. That'll be a lot of fun. We had a good Stacy's book club, even though both Stacy and I managed not to finish the book.
Oh, Stacy didn't finish it either?
Did you finish it, John? Yes, John was the only one who finished it. But it was fun. I'm still listening. It's like, so here's the test. I'm still listening to the book. I didn't stop, even though I don't have an assignment anymore. We're looking for new books. There's a vote, the poll, if you want, if you're in the club. If you're not in the club, twit.tv/clubtwit. Micah will be back along with me on July 8th.
Nice math.
Right? Am I right?
7th. I just trusted your math. Why?
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. 7th. Yeah, that's right. We'll be back on the 7th day of July in this year of our Lord 2024. If the good Lord willing and the creeks don't rise.
Indeed. Until then, you can get in touch with us.
You could still get in touch with us. How can you do that?
You could call us 888-724-2884 during the week and leave a voicemail like those beautiful booming voicemails we heard today.
Hello.
You can also email us with video like you saw earlier from our pastor friend, atg@twit.tv, or send text, which will end up in the mailbox, or send audio and we'll play it back. And of course, during the show, you can get in touch by heading to call.twit.tv and joining us in the Zoom.
By the way, Cranky Tech, who was our caller earlier, said that Automounter solved his problem.
Woo! We love to hear that.
Thank you. See, the club is great. Thank you, Cranky Tech. And thank you to Mr. Pog, who gave us that answer. I will be back in about 3 minutes for This Week in Tech, which is coming up next. And, of course, on Tuesday with Security Now, Mac Break Weekly, Wednesday with This Week in Google, and Windows Weekly. I will be here for all those shows. But thank you so much for doing Windows Weekly and This Week in Google for me on Wednesday. Yeah, apparently. I got to go listen to that Wednesday show. Is there anything I should be worried about?
Not worried about. It's just, okay, so I'll give a preview. Scientists were trying to make it so that when you attach skin to robotics.
Right, real, like lab-grown
skin to robotics.
Terrible idea.
Figuring out the attachment mechanism. But then we thought, where does that skin come from? And we wondered, did the scientists donate the skin? Is it from a cadaver? And then Paris Martineau found the source of the skin, and it was a little unexpected.
Yes.
And I apparently had a reaction that people really enjoyed because I just was beside myself.
You lost it.
Yeah.
And let me just say, this is a terrible idea. Do not put skin on robots. Why?
It's so pink. I hate it.
Why? I don't care where the skin came from. No. Anyway, I have to listen to that Wednesday show because I got a lot of email. That's all I'm saying. Not negative. People, you're giving me nightmares. Stop it,
gross.
John Ashley. Yuck.
It's so pink.
People loved that show. They said, never come back, Leo.
Okay, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Oh, I can see why you had a hard time getting serious.
Yeah, and then when you find out the source, it's even worse.
I think I know what the source is because
from the emails.
Yeah. Did you say leave a message? You did.
Yes.
You said email. You did.
Yes.
Is there anything else we have to cover? Thank you very much to our studio manager, John Slanina, to our producer and technical director, John Ashley, to Burke McQuinn, who just sits in his cubicle and pretends nobody. He brings us the dog every once in a while. And if we need something fixed, he's like, wow, I'll fix it.
And he focuses the cameras.
And he focuses the cameras. And he built that beautiful sign for me, which I don't know what we're going to do. Where can I put that? That thing is so huge for the site. I think
in your garage.
There's so, I know. Look, the attic studio is already bulging at the seams. I don't have any more room. I don't know what I'm going to do. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time on Ask the Tech Guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a great geek week.